Oh wow, ocean view! I better take in the moment because I'm never gonna see this stage again after this game.
If I have to see ocean view one more time, I'm going to end myself. So I've been playing Sonic Racing Crossworlds for the past couple hours, and wow. I was not really expecting too much when the game was first revealed, because, the last racing game before this one was Team Sonic Racing, and while I liked it when it first launched, there was a reason that I sold my copy of the game to get Crash Team Racing, so I could participate in an Obi-Wan Plays tournament. But Team Sonic Racing was a very interesting case in that it wasn't supposed to really evolve off of what the previous racing games introduced. It essentially ditched everything that the previous ones did. Like, it obviously got rid of the hoverboards from Sonic Riders, it got rid of the extra mini games and the specific crossover aspect of Sega All-Stars Racing. It obviously got rid of the transforming mechanic from Transformed, despite the fact that a stage from Transformed is in the game, and it's the exact same, except they gutted the most interesting part of that track, and that track is Ocean View, so it's even worse. So with Racing Crossworlds, I didn't really have that much in mind. I didn't think it was going to be that crazy. I was sure it was going to be a good game, because Sonic Racing games are always good, but they're not always interesting. They're not always unique. But then when it was actually showcased a couple weeks ago with the State of Play, I was very much intrigued. I didn't expect much from it again. I was like, oh, it's going to be Sonic gets to go to a candy land by going into a portal or something like that. No, it's you start out on a usual racetrack, and then you enter a portal to go to a unique terrain that's from like Sonic and the Secret Rings, like Dinosaur Jungle, I think Pirate Storm is what it's called from Sonic and the Secret Rings. You have Sky Road from Team Sonic Racing, help us all. Roulette Road from Team Sonic Racing, Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, and Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed. Oh my gosh. And a couple others that are kind of blanking from my head right now. But it's all very unique and interesting, and it feels like something that genuinely has heart put into it. Not to mention, the Transformed aspect is back. But honestly, it feels less impactful in this game than it does in Transformed. Like, your vehicle transforms, but it doesn't completely, like, shape itself in a completely different manner, like in Transformed. In Transformed, all of the carts are designed to be able to transform into a seamless-looking plane, or a seamless-looking boat, like Sonic's, for example, is the usual car, like in the original Sega All-Stars game, and then it kind of forms into an actual, like, boat. In this game, it's like, it still looks like a regular car, but its tires disappear, and it becomes, like, a boat. It's like in Cars 2, when Finn McMissile, at the beginning of the movie, when, like, he, like, gets rid of his tires, and then grows, like, boat parts or something. It's like that. Like, it's still a really cool part of the game, I won't deny that, but it's clearly not the main focus. Where the main focus is now on the Crossworlds aspect, which I already talked about, but just going more in depth, like, the different stages are actually really good. And I expected them to be really basic and boring, like in Team Sonic Racing, but they're not. I was very much expecting Ocean View to be the exact same as in TSR, but, Ocean View is still in there, and they need to remove it from the game, but, like, it's different. It's designed differently. And they bring back the boat section from Transformed. So it's not just the TSR version. Things like Ocean View or the stadium that's in the trailer, those are the main stages. And then you have, like, Crossworld stages, which are, like, all the stages from, like, Sonic and the Secret Rings and Sonic Heroes and stuff like that. Like, one of the main stages is Metal Harbor, and that's, like, the coolest one to me, easily, because it reminds me a lot of the Afterburner stage from Transformed, but it has a lot of different aspects to it, because in the Afterburner stage, you're going on different aircrafts and then flying around, or going down on boats and, like, swimming around the water, and then going onto another aircraft and doing that loop. But in Metal Harbor, it's like you're essentially on one like, big area, and you're just using your flight to kind of get around it that way faster. You obviously go into a different world after the first lap, But when you come back in the last one, and by that point, the rocket from Sonic Adventure 2 starts going, like, flying out to space, and there's this whole new ramp you can do a bunch of stunts on. And, like, they start playing an a cappella version of the final section of Metal Harbor whenever Sonic's skateboarding down. And that is so freaking cool to me. Because as a little kid, I'm just thinking, like, back when I was, like, 11 or 12 years old, during the 25th anniversary, you would not see anything like this. Like, the closest thing you would get to a callback from the games is, like, Green Hill Zone in Sonic Dash. You would not get a racing game with new assets for Metal Harbor, and at the final lap, the rocket goes up into the sky. That's the kind of thing you would see in LEGO Dimensions. Like, not something you would see in a Sonic team-made racing game in 2016. But here we are now in 2025, like, having a Sonic game that is not only, like, very well playable, but is also just has a lot of sense, like, areas of detail that I really appreciate. And speaking of the way that the game plays, like, this game is very interesting the way it plays. Like, it's nothing like Transformed or Team Sonic Racing, but at the same time, it's a lot like it too. It's really weird. You have the stunts, you have the drift that, like, you slide one way and you slide the other way and you don't really lose. You're still charging. That's one thing I really like about the Sonic Racing games that, like, other racers like Mario Kart don't do, where, like, you're drifting one side and then if you slide to the other side, you don't lose your drift energy. You can still charge it up going left or right. And I don't think the first one had that, but I know Transform and TSR did. And they bring that back. They bring back the stunt aspect, but it's a bit different. Like, instead of doing it with the right stick and being more, like, smooth, it's more snappy, and you're using it with the left stick. And that's kind of how to describe the whole game, really. The whole game is really snappy. My friend brought this up whenever we were playing the beta, which, on our own, mind you, because there's no friend matchmaking, which that was the main thing I was really excited for. I was going to play with the boys, and then literally the last 10 minutes before the beta was going to open, I convinced my girlfriend to hop on the game, but then the friend matches were disabled, so she was like, I'm not playing a Sonic game by myself. And now I'm like, great, not only can I not play with her, but I can't play with any of my friends either. Like, why? But anyway, yeah, the gameplay is very snappy. In a sense that my friend brought up, that the game plays basically like an arcade game, and I could not agree more. If you've ever played the Mario Kart arcade game, like the DX version with Pac-Man and all that, you've essentially played a diet version of Sonic Racing Crossworlds. It is very chaotic. It's very sharp in its movements. Like, it is nothing like Team Sonic Racing at the same time. Like, again, it controls a lot like Team Sonic Racing. All the mechanics from Transformed and Team Sonic Racing are in this game, but they control so differently. It is insane. It's like, basically, it's nothing like it, but it's also a lot like it too. It's hard to explain. Like, there are so many moments where you'll have so many characters butting heads and attacking each other with the most insane items. Like, items that will chop your car in half, items that will, like, magnetize yourself to other items and, like, counter them, items that are, like, this tornado item that I don't even know what it does, a warp ring that teleports you to the first place. Like, these are things that you would see in an arcade game that is trying to get quarters out of you, not a home racing game that's supposed to take things casually. Like, Mario Kart is so casual. It's so basic. But Sonic Racing is, like, the exact opposite, and I love it. It's like, it feels like Sonic Riders again, but not. And speaking of that, this game does have extreme gear, like from Sonic Riders, and people were really concerned that it was going to control like a car. But if this is how the carts control, I am not worried for the extreme gear. Like, the extreme gear, the whole point of that is that it's really snappy and sharp controls. Like, your drift will activate a boost and you will go crazy fast. And, like, you always, like, rely on wind and you rely on specific stunts. This, I can so see extreme gear working in this so easily. It's crazy. And yeah, it's not only that as well, but the kart customization is really interesting, and I did not expect it to be as in-depth as it was. Team Sonic Racing's customization was already really good. I remember I had talked about it a little bit in a video I did years ago on Team Sonic Racing. Not the I played every version, but like this older video that I did like whenever the game first came out. I am not publishing it, but essentially it's like if Team Sonic Racing had like 2 extra layers to it. Like you can still change the color and the side color of your vehicle. You can still change the horn, which I couldn't do in the demo. You could still change the stickers. You can add decals to it, but now you can like you can not only have any character use any vehicle. So like you can have Shadow in like Cream the Rabbit's car or something, but the cars are not dedicated specifically to that character. So if you're playing as Cream the Rabbit, you aren't immediately going to get her car. You're going to be in Sonic's car, but you can get certain customizations to where you would be in Cream the Rabbit's car. I think that's freaking incredible. I love how you can basically have anyone in any car. You can change the color of that car. You can have like Sonic's car look like it would be Shadow's car. And I love that. And like not only that, like there's so many different like options and like different combinations where you can have different names for your vehicles. You can have like different stats for your vehicle. Like this game is so in depth, so specific, and I think as a Sonic game that is amazing. I am so used to Sonic games, like at least in the spin-off sense, being so basic and so just safe, like Team Sonic Racing. But this feels like what I've wanted. Feels like what I wanted out of Team Sonic Racing when it was first announced. When they showed that Sonic R symbol and they were building it up like it was gonna, like Sonic and Shadow were together, they were building up the R logo. This is what I expected. I expected something to take everything out of the entire Sonic lineage, not transformed with a couple extra stages in it, right? This is that. And I really hope that the full game takes full advantage of the extreme gear. Like, I know this engine can. It adds characters from other Sonic parts of the Sonic world. Like, you get the side game characters. Maybe you could get IDW. I know we're getting Sonic Prime in the Digital Deluxe, so it's not out of the question. And I just want more unique tracks like these. These tracks are incredible. I love all of these tracks. Now, do I like the fact that Dodonpa is returning? No. And, you know, it really confused me why you were on Ocean View in TSR, if you're on a different planet. Seaside Hill is beyond this planet. We're never going to not see Ocean View ever again.